Hello, my name is Myunique Johnson, and I'll be presenting the financial analysis for Ross. So you know how you usually have a favorite company you go to shop and browse around, and it's always something there that you love. So think about it. Why won't you invest in it, especially if you spend a lot of money there? And if you have a daily necessity of the place you shop at the most, it's the best place to invest. A wise professor once told me that you should make an investment where you spend the most money. In most cases, it's for tissue, toothpaste, water, gas, those kind of things that you should invest in. But you know, you also need stuff like clothing. Clothing is not only a necessity, but it's also a want, depending on what kind of clothing you buy. In Ross, they have both the need and the necessity at an affordable price. So think about it. If the business is a necessity, it lasts a lot longer compared to things that we just need or want. Well, compared to things that we want, but if we need them, it lasts a lot longer, those businesses. So say if you went to a toy company like Toys R Us that doesn't exist anymore, it's not a need and it's something that is a want for children. So like I said before, Ross is a good example of both the need and the want. And as we can see, it's a Fortune 500 company, it's the S&P 500, and is a NASDAQ 100 company. One of their top competitors is City Trend, an urban style clothing brand. So in 1982, Ross' first discounted store with the name Ross opened in Pacifica, California, and this headquarters is now located in Dublin, California. It focuses on off-price apparel and home fashion chains. Now it's become one of the nation's largest off-price retail chain, resulting in Ross's growth to having 1,585 stores in 40 states, and it continues to grow each year. Especially last year, they opened about 20 stores after COVID restrictions were released. Their focus is to give affordable price for brand name apparel, accessories, footwear, and fashion, home fashions for a discount between 20 to 60% off. They also pride themselves on always delivering bargains to customers and to provide an easy, simple, fun, and organized shopping experience. They don't have window displays, mannequin, fancy fixtures, or decorations compared to other stores, allowing for less expenses to be paid for decorating the store. Not only do they have Ross, they opened up another discount apparel in 2014 called DD's Discount with 274 locations in 21 states. They also have savings, but they increased it a little bit more, ranging from 20% to 70% off moderate department and discount stores to give their customers the best price for the things that they love. The current board of directors in 2020 for both Ross and DD's Discount is Michael Bulmuth, Barbara Rentoler, Michael J. Hartshorn, Travis Marquette, Michael K. Kabashi, Sharon D. Garrett, Stephen D. Milligan, and so many more. These are the chairmen, the CFOs, the CEOs, the vice presidents, and management consultants. Some have been ranging from a long time, from 1984, which is the oldest partner, George P. Orban, to more recent in 2020, which is Donald N. Sutton. So each board of director receives a salary based off of their position, their bonus, the cash dividends, and the stock that they received in other compensation. Due to COVID-19, some of these compensations have been reduced for the economic uncertainty. And as well, their dividends have not been going out for the latter half of the year to reduce cost for the company. As we can see, the CEO receives 1,362,500 for their base pay, and in total, they receive 12,024,336. And as we can see on the lower spectrum, the board member can receive from a base pay of $0 to $133,250, and their average total is about $2,686,906, which is about a $10 million difference between the CEO and the board, a normal board member. Now let's talk about Citi Trends. Citi Trends is actually much older than Ross. It was created and founded in 1946 in Savannah, Georgia. It was first named Savannah Wholesale Co. They sold mostly women's retail clothing throughout the southeastern states, and 60 years ago, it renamed itself as Citi Trends. It's one of the largest urban apparel chains in the US, and they dedicate themselves to having a fresh, fashionable merchandise for customers. And their discounts go up to 50% less than the other stores, and they have 570 stores in 33 states. Their youngest board member is Jason B. Moschner, and his age is 37. And their oldest board member is 68, which is Margaret L. Jenkins. And as you can see, the CEO is David Mucken, who is 52 years old. And he just recently received his position in 2020. So majority of their board members receive salary and stock awards, and they don't receive as much pay as the other board members for Ross. And it's a very huge difference between each one of them. Due to the limited data that I could find, I have some from 2020 and some from 2019, and the one that has asterisks beside them is from the year 2019. So David Mucken receives $3 million, and the lowest is Margaret L. Jenkins with $182,500. And as you can see, if you're a named director, you will receive around $233,250. A named director is usually someone that has a specific department or a specific job to do and is not a general director, which usually gives them more money. So now let's go into the financial ratios. Liquidity, current, and quick ratios. Liquidity ratio shows the relationship of a firm's cash and other cash assets to its liabilities. So first we're going to talk about the current ratio and the quick ratio for Ross. To your left, you will see that I categorize the current assets, the current liabilities, and the inventory for the last 5 years. Starting from 2016 from Ross, they started off with 1.6 and they increased slowly, but in 2019, due to COVID, their current ratio rate dropped down to 1.27. And then as 2020 came along, it increased back up to 1.68. And for their quick ratio, they started off with 0.74 and they slowly increased each year, and it dropped back down in 2019, as I said before, due to COVID, and increased back up to 1.3. So if we look at Citi Trends, current assets, current liabilities in their inventory to create their current ratio and their quick ratio, we can see they started off in 2016 with 2.32 and they're slowly increasing, but before COVID hit in 2018, they started decreasing and continue to decrease from there, and just a smidge bit increase in 2020. And their quick ratios, they also did the same trend as well. So just from looking at this, at first, Citi Trend had a better current asset to current liability ratio in 2016, and it decreased over the years, while Ross had a better current asset to current liability ratio currently. So what that basically means is they have enough assets to cover their liabilities, and not just to cover the liabilities, to have extra over. Next, we'll be talking about the average collection period, accounts receivable turnover, inventory turnover, and the average age of inventory. To your left, you'll see again that I categorized it by accounts receivable, annual sales, cost of goods sold, inventory, and credit sales. So for Ross, they did not show their credit sales, but as we can see for the average collection period, that it was increasing and it didn't drop as much in 2019, and it continued to increase from there. The same thing for the inventory turnover ratio and the average age of inventory. So as you can see, Ross is doing better overall compared to Citi Trends. So next we'll go to debt ratio and times interest earned. So you'll take the total debt, the total asset, the earnings before income tax, and the interest expense to find these two. Based off of the debt ratio, you take the total debt divided by the total assets to give you the equation. And as we can see for Ross, they continue to increase for their debt ratio while they decreased in their times interest earned. And Citi Trends also increased in their debt ratio, and over time from 2016 to 2020 decrease in their times interest earned. These are some more of the calculations I made that you can see to the left. But for more, you can check it out on my Excel spreadsheet. So for the time series analysis, we can see over time for sales that it increased and then did a dip between the COVID time, but now it's steadily increasing again. And the same thing for Citi Trends. Thank you for watching.